Hey, Desiree here. Welcome back to Danzik Fitness. So today's video has been highly requested and I am so happy to finally get the chance to do it for you guys. We all have heard the phrase weak in the knees, right? Usually referring to a feeling you get towards someone who you're in love or in lust with. But do you actually have weak knees? Do you ever experience any sort of pain or discomfort? If so, that's usually a really good indication that you need to stretch and strengthen the surrounding muscles of the knees. So that's exactly what today's workout is all about. So say goodbye to weak knees, say goodbye to painful knees. Let's strengthen and stretch those surrounding muscles. All right, friends, grab your mats and let's get started. All right, let's begin by sitting up nice and tall on our mats, legs lengthened out, arms lengthened out. Scoop the belly, tuck the tailbone under, and we're just going to roll sequentially all the way down to the floor. Relax the head down, relax the arms down. Good. And let's bring in both knees and give your legs a nice big hug. And we're just going to rock the knees side to side to release the back. All right, let's place the hands on the knees and we're going to go into some knee circles. So using your hands as a guide, you're opening up both legs, circling them down and around. This should feel amazing. Let's also reverse the circle. This is really great to just loosen up the hips and increase your range of motion within the hip joint. All right, guys, let's lace up the fingers. We're going to do the exact same thing. This time we're going to curl up the head, neck, and shoulders. Hands are behind the head. So we're getting a little bit more abs activated here. And we're going to open the legs and just circle them down, around, and up. So those knees stay bent at a 90-degree angle. Very nice, guys. Make sure you're breathing. And then we reverse the circle. Good. So don't force it, but just try to get the biggest range of motion that you can, really opening up those hips. Very nice, guys. Good. Let's hug those knees and we'll relax the head down. Very nice, guys. All right. Feet flat on the floor and then just lengthen the legs out. All right, let's curl up the head, neck, and shoulders. About halfway, you're going to catch yourself and then adjust yourself onto the forearms. Legs stay lengthened out and parallel. We're going to lift the right leg up 4 times, keeping the leg in the parallel position. So we're really working the quad here. Good. Up and then down with control. And then let's go into some pulses. So we're just going to pulse up. Make sure you're in control of the movement. Good. Really pressing the floor down, shoulders down, chest open and wide. Good, guys. Let's go to the left leg. Again, both legs are parallel. Make sure you're engaging in the core. Belly button in and up. Good. And let's go into those pulses next. Pulse up. And 2 and 3. Good. 4. And 5, and 6, and 7, last one, 8. Beautiful job, guys. All right, let's stay in this position, but we're going to flex the feet and then from the hip joint externally rotate the legs. So now we are turned out. We're going to repeat the same sequence. So 4 leg lifts. Think of lifting your leg now with your inner thigh, really working those external rotators. And then we're going to pulse that leg up. Good. Try to keep it rotated as much as you can. Beautiful job, guys. Keep breathing, shoulders down. And let's switch over to the left leg. Same thing. You're lifting the leg with the inner thigh. Good work, guys. Try to keep those legs nice and long. Only lift the leg as high as you can, but keeping that knee nice and straight. Good. Into our pulses. Good job, guys. Nice work. And let's lower the leg down with control. Beautiful. Let's point through the toes. Catch yourself. Let's roll all the way up and we'll go into a nice little stretch here. So open the legs about the width of the mat. Place one hand on top of the other, and we're just going to slide and reach forward as far as you can. Good. Let the head just drop down nice and heavy. Very nice, guys. And let's stay low, but just walk your hands over to that right leg. Beautiful job, guys. Continue breathing, never holding the breath when we're doing these stretches. Let the breath help you. Walk the hands over to the other leg. And then we'll walk back to center. And let's roll up sequentially through the spine. Shoulders down. Head is the last thing to come up. Beautiful job, guys. Let's close the legs in. And we will lengthen the arms out in front. Scoop the belly, tuck the tailbone under. And let's roll all the way down to the mat with control. Good. And once you make it down there, just relax the head and arms down. Beautiful job. Let's bend the left knee so your left foot is flat on the floor. And we're going to place the arms out to the side like a T. With that right leg, we are going to lift it up. Now you can either remain in the parallel position or externally rotate the leg. And let's go into some half circles. So we're going to lower the leg straight down and then circle around and up. Good. So make sure you are activating your core, really pressing down into the floor with that left foot and both arms. And this will help you stay nice and stable and balanced. Let's reverse the circle. So now the leg opens to the side and then we go down and then it slices straight up. Good, guys. So you're making the biggest half circle that you can make, but work within your range of motion and your strength level. Good job, guys. All right, let's reach the fingertips in front, curl up the head, neck, and shoulders, and now that leg is going to lower down, and we're going to kick it up. Lower down and kick it up. Good. So again, you can either do this in the parallel leg position, which will get more quad, or if you externally rotate the leg, you'll get a little bit more inner thigh action. Good, guys. And of course, we're working that core in the process, as always. Beautiful job. Let's keep kicking that leg and lengthen the arms behind you for a little bit more of an ab challenge. Beautiful job, guys. Lower down and kick up. Lower down and kick it up. Very nice. Try to really lengthen that leg as long as you can. Pushing down into the floor with that opposite foot. Good work, guys. Let's hold the leg here and we'll lengthen the left leg on the mat and we'll just take a moment to enjoy this nice stretch. Good, great hamstring stretch here. And we'll lower the leg down with control and lower your head back down to the mat. Let's repeat the same thing on the other side. Arms out to the side like a T. Bend that right knee and we are going to lift the left leg up. Either keep it parallel or externally rotate. And here we go with those half circles. Good, guys. So we open, down, around, and up. Good. And as I said before, activate that core. Press down into the floor with the arms. And you're also pushing down into the floor with that opposite foot. Let's reverse the leg circle. Beautiful work, guys. Excellent. All right. Bring the legs so the toes are reaching for the ceiling and fingertips are reaching in front. Curl up the head, neck, and shoulders. And let's lower the leg down with control and kick it up. Lower down and kick it up. Good. So you can inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. Beautiful work, guys. Good, really reaching out with the leg, nice and long, longest leg line you can make. Good, and let's keep the leg going, and we're going to change the arm position. Fingertips reaching to the back of the room. Make sure you don't let your head swing back. Keep that chin tucked. Good. Stay in control. Nice work, guys. All right. And let's hold it here. Grab onto that leg, lengthen the right leg on the mat, and just enjoy that nice stretch. Good. Let's lower the leg and head back down to the mat with control. All right. Let's just bring in both knees, hug the legs, and just rock the knees side to side to release your back, and we'll move on to the next exercise. All right, let's place the feet flat on the floor. Legs are hip width apart, and we're going to go into our shoulder bridge series. So this is great for strengthening the quads, the hamstrings, and those glutes. Let's peel the spine off the floor, press down into the floor with those arms. We're going to lower the pelvis down almost all the way, so just a couple of inches off the floor, and then lift and squeeze back up. Good, guys. So when you're pressing up into your shoulder bridge, don't press up too much. So you just want to press up enough so you have a straight diagonal line all the way from the tips of the knees down to the shoulders. Let's hold it here and do a little balance check. See if you can release your right foot up, keeping that leg bent at a 90-degree angle. And let's keep lowering the pelvis down and lifting up. Good. So this is very tricky. We're really pushing down into the floor with the left foot. Try to keep those hips level. Good. This is a real great one for the legs and the buns. Beautiful job, guys. Let's lower the right foot down. And I just want you to place your hands on those hip bones and just feel both hips level. Good. Let's release the left leg up and do the same thing. Lower down almost all the way and push and press back up. Good. So we're really pushing down into the floor with the right foot. Keep those hips level. Left leg is bent at that 90-degree angle. Good job, guys. I know this one's a burner. Good. And lift up. And we'll hold it here. Lower the left foot down. Once again, place your hands on those hip bones. Feel your hips nice and level. Beautiful. Let's lower the arms back down to the floor and sequentially roll through the spine all the way back down to the mat. Good job, guys. Let's just take a little break. Hug those knees in. Rock the knees side to side to release the back. Good. And let's just lengthen the legs as long as you can. And we're going to flex the feet. And if you can grab your toes, that's great. If not, you could just place your hands on your calves or on the backs of your thighs. Let's curl up the head, neck, and shoulders to get a really nice stretch in the backs of the legs. Good job, guys. Circle the arms around. Let's hug the knees into the chest. And we'll lower the head back down. All right, let's try another variation. So feet flat on the floor, legs are hip width apart, arms are by your side, and I want you to replace your heels with the balls of your feet. So you have to scoot your feet in a little bit closer, peel the spine, go up into your shoulder bridge, and now we're just going to do tiny pulses. Good. So we're staying within a small range here, not lowering all the way down to the floor. Good, maybe just 6 inches. And let's keep those pulses going, but see if you can release your arms, fingertips reaching to the ceiling. Good, so a little bit more of a challenge. Have to really hold that core, pressing down into the floor with the balls of the feet. Good. Let's swing the arms back on an angle and keep those pulses going. Good job, guys. Really squeezing those buns, engaging the quads and hamstrings. And last arm variation, we'll lower the arms all the way down to the floor this time and keep pulsing up. Good. Make sure the shoulders are down and relaxed. Try not to take any tension in the upper body. Good job, guys. Let's lower the heels down, lower the body down, and relax your arms by your side. And we'll do a nice little stretch here. Bring your right knee into the chest, hands go behind the thigh, and then we'll lengthen that right leg as long as you can. Good. Just take nice deep breaths when you're doing these stretches. Let's now hook the right leg and arm. Left arm goes out to the side like a T, and then we're going to open that right leg to the side. So this is a great stretch for the inner thigh. And if you want, you can try to extend that right leg. Good. Nice and long, and feel your left leg nice and long on the mat as well. Let's bend that knee in, and now we're going to cross the right leg all the way over to the left. Change arms, and we are looking to the right with your right arm out to the side. Good. Nice stretch in the spine. Good job, guys. Come back to center, lower the leg down, and we'll do the same thing on the left. Hug that left knee into the chest. Lengthen the leg nice and long. Good. And next we are going to bend the knee and we are going to hook the left arm and left leg. Right arm goes out to the side as your anchor, and then you're going to open that left leg to the side, stretching out the inner thigh. Good. And extend that leg if you wish. Beautiful work, guys. Let's bend that knee once again, and then we are going to cross it over to the opposite side. So left leg crosses over to the right, change arms. Head is looking to the left, and your left arm is out to the side. Good. Nice stretch on the outside of the leg as well. Beautiful job. Let's bring the leg back to center, extend the leg long, and lower it all the way down with control. Let's reach the arms back, and we're going to roll up. Inhale, exhale, peel the spine off the floor. Good. And take a nice round over the legs, nose to your knees. And let's flex those feet. Grab your toes if you can, or place your hands on your shins. Good. Try to make a nice flat back. Beautiful. And then we'll point the toes and release the head down nice and heavy. Great job, guys. And we'll roll up through the spine. Good work. All right, guys, let's lay on our side. We have our side series up next. So legs are slightly in front of the torso, and then we are going to bend just that bottom leg to help keep us stable. The top leg is going to remain in that parallel position, and we're going to lift it up and then lower it down with control. Good. So those hips are stacked, abs are in tight. Good. And make sure that that leg stays in the parallel position. So we're really working those abductors, the outer thighs. So be mindful that your kneecap is facing the wall in front of you. So don't externally rotate that leg. Good. Let's go into our leg circles next. Good, guys. So similar exercise as we did before, but this time we're making full complete circles. Now, when you're doing this, you have to engage in that core because we don't want to be rocking and rolling all over the place. So try to be mindful and try to make it so just that leg is moving from the hip joint. Let's reverse the circle. Good. So only make the circle as big as you can, but keeping the rest of the body nice and quiet. Good, guys. Nice work. All right. We should be feeling a little burning going on. All right. We're going to keep it going into some pulses. Good. And again, we're keeping that leg parallel. Good. Really reach out. Lengthen the legs. Energy shooting out of those toes. Good. Keep it going. Nice work, guys. All right. Let's bend both knees, and you can pat it out if you need to. And we're going to go into another variation. So let's extend the legs nice and long on the mat, slightly in front of the torso. We're going to bend that top leg in and then externally rotate it. So we're essentially going from a jazz passe to a ballet passe for my dancers out there. Good job, guys. This is very similar to our clam exercise, but we just have our bottom leg nice and lengthened out on the mat. Good. Again, keep those hips stacked. Try not to pull your weight back as you open that leg. So again, you got to use that core. Always, always, always. Okay, let's hold that ballet passe, and now the bottom leg is going to lift up. So this is a great one for the inner thighs now, our adductors. Good. Keep it going. Very nice, guys. This is also a great exercise to target those obliques because we're getting that nice little crunch in the waist there. Good. Make sure you're lowering the leg down with control. And we'll stack the legs, bend the knees, and let's pat it out once again. Good job. All right. We're going to sit up. Let's swing those legs around. And we will repeat the same sequence on the other side. So prop yourself up. Bottom leg is bent. Top leg is slightly in front of the torso. And let's go into those leg lifts. Beautiful job, guys. So again, we're keeping that leg parallel. Your kneecap should be facing the wall in front of you. Good. Very nice, guys. Stay in control of the movement. Don't just fling the leg up and drop it down. You won't gain any strength that way. All right, let's go into our circles. Very nice, guys. Make sure you're breathing, never holding the breath, and you're keeping the whole body nice and quiet. This is a really difficult exercise to do. I catch a lot of my students cheating, and there's a lot of extra movement in there. So you really have to push down into the floor with the hand, use your core, and bending that bottom knee also really helps keep you nice and stable. If you want to advance this, you can just straighten that bottom leg. Good. We reverse the circle. Nice job, guys. All right, let's go into those pulses next. I know, it burns. Think happy thoughts. Think about the breath. We're almost there. Stick with me. Good. Pulse up and lift. Good. Working those abductors and lower the leg down. Good. Stack the legs. Give your booty a nice little pat there. All right. Next exercise, lengthen those legs out long, slightly in front of the torso. And we're going to take that top leg, bring the knee in, and then externally rotate to your ballet passe. Beautiful job, guys. Nice work. Lower the knee down with control, and then externally rotate as much as you can. Good work. Excellent job, guys. We're going to hold our last set. And then here we go into those leg lifts. So we're targeting the inner thigh with that bottom leg. Nice work. Lift and squeeze, lower down with control. Lift and squeeze and down with control. Nice job, guys. We got a couple more. Good. All right, you guys made it. Good job. Stack those legs and give that hip a nice little pat. Good job. All right. Let's get up on those knees. We have a kneeling combination next. Now, if you need a little bit more cushion, I would double or triple or even quadruple your mat just to protect those knees. So we're kneeling, legs are hip width apart. We have genie arms out in front. We're going to sit down on the heels and then use the glutes, hamstrings, and quads to sit up nice and tall. Now, if you can't sit back all the way on the heels, that's okay. Just go back as far as you can and then engage those glutes, quads, and hamstrings to sit up nice and tall. Good, guys. Very nice. Sit back and sit up tall. And down and sit up tall and squeeze. Good. Let's open the arms out to the side, and next we're going to go into our hinges. So this is another really great one to target those quads. So we want to keep the body nice and long and straight, and we hinge back. Good. This is a tough one. Only go as far as you can support. We don't want to push this one. Good. Keeping that core in tight, shoulders down, and really pulling up through the crown of the head. Nice work, guys. Woo! I know this one burns. Good job, guys. All right, let's take a little break. Sit back on those heels. We're going to put the right fingertips on the floor. Push the hips forward as you arch the back and lengthen that left arm behind. And let's swing the body around over to the other side. Good. This is a great stretch for those hip flexors and quads. Really push those hips forward as much as you can. All right, let's go back to our starting position. And here we go again, sitting back on the heels. Squeeze the buns, engage the core, and lift your body back up nice and tall. Good job, guys. Sit back, lift it up. Keep those shoulders down, chest open and wide, nice long neck, and pulling up through the crown of the head. Beautiful. All right, guys. We're going to go back into our hinges, this time with the arms up. So this is definitely more of a challenge with the arms up in this position. So if you find it too difficult, that's okay. Just put your arms down as we did in our first variation. Good. So with the arms up, we're creating more weight further away from our center. So those quads and those abs have to work even harder. Good. Make sure you keep the body nice and straight. Hinge back, stay as stiff as a board, and pull yourself back up. Beautiful job. All right, guys, let's go into another little stretch. We're going to try to arch the back, look straight up to the ceiling, grab your ankles or your heels. This is our camel pose in yoga. One of my favorite, really try to push the hips forward, get a nice stretch in the hip flexors and quads. Woo! All right, guys, great job with that one. Okay, we are almost there. I want you guys to get up on those feet. We have a couple standing exercises. So let's stand up nice and tall, and I want you to be mindful of tracking your knees in line with your feet. So hands are on the hips, and we're just going to bend the knees into a demi-plie and then lengthen the legs up. So a lot of people that have knee pain or weak knees, they usually don't track their knees in line with their feet, and that can cause a lot of pressure on the knees and a lot of discomfort. So make sure those knees are always in line. Let's rotate the feet to a first position, and we're going to do the same thing. Take a nice bend of the knees, a demi-plie, and feel your knees right over the feet. We don't want the knees to roll in. Good. The hips support the knees, which support the feet, so everything is in alignment. Beautiful job, guys. Let's now rotate to a parallel open position, and we're going to keep this going. Bend the knees and make sure those knees are in line with the feet. Good. Both shoulders down. We're standing up nice and tall. Abs are in tight. Good. Try to keep those heels down so you also get a nice stretch in the calves and Achilles. Good. Last one, we're going to rotate to a ballet second position. And again, let's bend those knees. Make sure the knees stay in line with the feet and lengthen up. And bend and lengthen up. Good, guys. 2 more. Good. And last one. Beautiful work. All right, let's rotate the legs in, stay in a pretty wide stance, and we're just going to take a nice stretch all the way down. Beautiful. Now, if you can place your hands on the floor, that's great. Good, and we're just going to let the body hang, head hangs down heavy, and let's bend the knees and then lengthen the legs up. Good. Again, be mindful of those knees tracking in line with the feet. And then lengthen the legs up. Good. Let's put the left fingertips on the floor. Reach up with that right arm. Nice twist of the spine. And then we'll switch arms. Doesn't that feel amazing? This is one of my favorite stretches. Good job, guys. Both hands on the floor, and we'll roll all the way up. Okay, let's go into our next exercise. Hands at your heart center, and we're going to shift the weight side to side. Good. So we're leaning slightly forward. One knee is bent and one leg is straight. So this is a great stretch and strengthening exercise here. You should feel a nice stretch in the inner thigh when you shift the weight. Good. And of course, we are working those quads. Beautiful job, guys. Let's come up back to center. Rotate the legs again to your ballet second position. Arms in second, and we're going to take some pulses down. All right, here we go again with that nice quad burn. Let's lift up the right heel. Keep pulsing. Very nice. And lower the heel back down. Keep pulsing. And we'll switch over to the other foot. Heel up. Nice work, guys. Try to stay down low as much as you can. Good. Pick up that opposite heel. Lower down and opposite heel. And lower down. And we'll do singles. Lower down. Heel up, lower down. Again, heel up, lower down. Last one, heel up, lower down. Woo! All right, good work, guys. Let's take a nice grand plie. You can rest the hands on the knees, and we're just going to rock the body gently side to side. Good. If you'd like, you can even add a little twist in the upper back. All right, hands on the floor. Let's internally rotate those legs to a parallel position. And again, we're just going to sort of sway the hips side to side, get a good stretch in the backs of the legs. And then we'll roll up through the spine. Okay. We have one more exercise, grand finale. We are going to go into that parallel side lunge as we did before, but this time we're adding a little leg lift. All right, so inner and outer thighs, quads, hamstrings, glutes. We are working everything here. You're leaning slightly forward in that lunge and then stand up tall as you lift the leg, but keeping it in that parallel leg position. Good. Let's switch over to the other side. So we lean forward as we lunge and then push off the floor with that foot. Transfer your weight to the opposite leg. Good, guys. So this takes a lot of coordination, a lot of control, a lot of strength, and balance. It's a tough one. Good. Really have to feel the shifting of the weight. You want to push off enough so you can transfer your weight over, but don't push off too much so that you're going to fall over. Good job. Okay, I know that is a tricky one. All right, my friends, let's take another grand plie in second position and just gently rock it side to side. Nice work. Okay, you guys are done. I am so proud of you. We worked a lot today. Make sure you're really stretching out your quads after you do any sort of strengthening exercise. A lot of times when the quads or the hip flexors are tight, it can actually pull or tug on your knees, causing a lot of discomfort. So don't forget to stretch. I cannot stress that enough. A lot of people sort of forget about stretching, but believe it or not, it is just as important as your strengthening exercises. We never want to be too strong or too flexible. We really want to have a good balance between our strength and our flexibility. So don't forget about stretching. I actually have a great stretch workout, which I will link down below, so please check that out if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care of you. Bye.